Stick around for the Ansari Podcast.
Firing off, but a lot of counters. You can see the damage. Oh my goodness! What a right hand! Hello! Oh mercy! Muhsin Cason, and the tree goes down.
Muhsin Cason, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. You are a Hafiz of Quran, a boxer, and you're still ranked number 5 in the country, right? Or are you higher up now after that Jake Paul fight?
Nope. Number 6. Somebody took my ranking down a little bit. I think because I haven't fought in like 3 months. But I'm gonna go get that back very soon, inshallah.
Well, I'm curious, man. What was your journey with Islam growing up? How was your relationship with God, and how did it evolve?
My relationship with Islam was culture. It was something that was just culture for us. It was something that was so normal. My father was an Imam. So it felt like everybody was always staring at me because I could do nothing wrong because everybody already knew who I was. And because my father was the Imam, it was very hard to actually be a kid, make mistakes, kind of learn from it. And so what happened was, I guess over time, I started to kind of resent more so the people than the religion. And I never went to public school. I always went to private schools, all Muslim schools. Right after that, I went to college. I didn't graduate, but my life was circled around Islam. With my dad being my dad, my life was always revolving around something Islamic. So alhamdulillah, I had a really good childhood. So I guess I'm just coming back to being that child again.
Yeah. Achieving your goals in life, or a great man, is really a child who never gave up on their dreams. Why is it that you resented Islam? Because your father's an imam?
It's like you can do no wrong. Like this, your father is this prominent guy in the community, and everybody looks up to him. And because you know how to read Quran and all this other stuff, they're looking at you. And so, yeah, I kind of resented it because, like I said, I could do nothing wrong. And if I did do something wrong, it wasn't just like a small mistake. It was like, oh, or you're going to hell. It resonated with me, like, man, like why is Islam so harsh?
Was it different with your father? Did your father also have that attitude towards you, or are you saying just the community?
No, my father, there were a select few of people who understood who I was and kind of like cultured a relationship with me to the point where no matter what I was doing, they always was able to talk to me. But as far as like my dad, I didn't think my father and a lot of the people from the community understood me for a while. And so anything I did bad and all of that stuff, it was hard, especially the elders, not anybody my age or anything, but the elders.
And what did that resentment cause you to do?
As far as the respect of staying on the right path, no, that was because I was very curious. So because everything was so haram, I really didn't understand what was going on. So when I got to college, it was like an eye opener. Like nobody's watching you anymore. I'm basically an adult. Nobody's going to tell me what to do. I shouldn't feel bad about, or nobody's seeing me, so I'm not going to feel bad about doing something. And so I got into a lot of stuff. Got into, girls, party, and all this other stuff. And, over time, I kind of just got tired of it. And if it wasn't for the Imam in Vegas, Imam Fatim, man, he's a really good guy. One time he asked me to do a khutbah for the kids. And I was like, nah, I can't do it. And so he was like, he kept pushing me to do it, and I did it, and that's what like really brought me back. Like I feel like Allah never let me go. My favorite ayah is what make it Allah, Allahu khairul makirin. You plan, Allah plans. Truly, Allah is the best of planners. And I take that as, Allah put all of those obstacles in my life and the things that I did for me to really be me today. I'm unapologetically Muslim. I don't even care to do anything wrong now because I already know what that life was like. And because I know what that life is like, it's not enticing to me at all. It's boring to me now because I've done it all. There's nothing like, I'm not curious about it anymore because I've already done it.
Yeah.
And so the curiosity is gone. And so now I just know that it's bad. And I really dislike it. Now I'm at a point where I really it's something that I really dislike. It's just like, it's not my forte at all. Alhamdulillah.
I read the Quran. I love the Quran. I live by the Quran. I'm a man. I make mistakes. Do I pray every day? No. Do I go to the mosque every day? No. Will I die for Allah? Yes. Is Allah in my heart? Yes. Do I love women? Yes. Do I love material goods? Yes. But do I love Allah with all my heart? Yes.
You were a bouncer at a bar. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, and how did you end up deciding what was your breaking point with that stuff as well?
Crazy thing is, I didn't stop being a boxer because I was Muslim. I didn't stop drinking because I was Muslim. I didn't stop partying because I was Muslim. I stopped partying, drinking, being a bouncer and all that. One, I stopped being a bouncer because I got fired, not because I stopped on my own account. I got fired from a job for hitting somebody, and that I was broke, and so I had to go get a security job at like Catholic charities. Like I was broke, and I was still doing my boxing. But as far as like drinking and partying, I didn't stop that because of Islam. I stopped that because of boxing.
Really?
And that's why I appreciate boxing so much, because boxing is what led me back to Islam.
Wow.
Boxing gave me the discipline to give me the discipline of saying, if I'm gonna get up 5 o'clock in the morning and go run, if I'm gonna get up the next day, even though I'm in pain, to go work out and still take a beating and still do go work out and not quit boxing, what's the difference between boxing and Fedger? What's the difference between running and Aisha? What's the difference between studying my craft, watching all of these fights, and reading Quran?
Hmm.
Reading Mike Tyson's book, reading somebody else's book about boxing, and rather just reading Quran. So that's what brought me back. It wasn't anything like a revelation, like, oh, let me stop drinking and everything. I stopped drinking because it was a health risk, because I was getting beat up. It was bad for health. Stop smoking because it was bad for health, because of my boxing. But that's what brought you back to Islam, because it's like, well, if I can do this for boxing, why would I not do this for my Lord? I feel like Allah hit me with the, you're not going to be successful in this life until you come back to me. I was a boxer for 7 years. I didn't become the Muslim boxer for 2 years, until 3 years ago. So I was still on that path of trying to find myself, trying to get here, trying to really be Muslim. And it wasn't until I really come back to Allah and I have my full faith in Allah, that's where it's like, yeah, okay, give you success now.
Because I'm a strong believer in God and humanity. That's why I'm helping these boys. That's why God blesses me to be so great here. Because all the time I've been here, I've been talking about God, pushing religion. I'm not talking about me, how great I am, how much money I got. I'm always giving the praise to God. So that's why I'm as great as I am in this physical world, because I push Him first.
Well, Muhammad, we're running out of time now.
Why even boxing? Why take such a big risk with your life? Why not be a regular 9 to 5 guy? Why the Muslim boxer? Why not just be a boxer and hide like everyone else? Why represent Islam? Why do all the things that you're doing right now? What are you trying to achieve?
I became the Muslim boxer because I decided to stop being afraid and embarrassed about being Muslim. For a long time, I was embarrassed about being Muslim. I was kind of like timid. Like my name was Mo for a long time. My name was like Moose for a long time. And because of that, people didn't really know. I was just like the same to everybody. Like, yeah, some people knew I was Muslim, but it wasn't no distinction between me and somebody who wasn't Muslim. It was just the fact that, okay, your name is this, and maybe you might go pray sometimes. But I changed it to being the Muslim boxer because it got to the point where I stopped apologizing for being Muslim. I stopped apologizing for not wanting to drink. I stopped apologizing for saying that no, I'm not going to go party, or I'm not going to indulge in all this other stuff. And it's a reason why I don't do it. It's not just because of health or anything like that or boxing. It's because I'm Muslim. And so that's what led me to being the Muslim boxer. I am the Muslim kid that I wanted to be when I was a kid.
Why do you insist on being called Muhammad Ali now?
That's the name given to me by my leading teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's my original name. That's a black man name.
What does it mean?
Muhammad means worthy of all praises, and Ali means most high.
Do you intend to fight under that name?
Yes, sir. I want to be called by that name. I write autographs at that name. I want to be known all over the world as that name.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Float like a bee, sting like a bee.
What's your dad's name?
Muhammad Ali.
Why do you think you were embarrassed of being Muslim?
It wasn't the norm in being like, it's not the norm to wear a thobe. It's cool now, but it wasn't the norm to wear a thobe when we were kids. Like in early 2000s, it wasn't the norm to wear a thobe. It wasn't the norm to wear a kufi. It wasn't the norm to have this weird name like Muhsin in America. It wasn't the norm in regular society to not drink at 18, not smoke, not do this, not do this. You were considered a cornball back then. That's why it was embarrassing. To randomly, like, you have 9/11 and you got people still praying at right in front of the plane before they get on the plane. That was embarrassing because you like, oh man, what are these people going to think? That I'm praying right before I'm about to get on the plane. They already think all Muslims are terrorists. That's embarrassing a little bit.
Right, yeah.
And so you have so many things. And it wasn't just that, it's just the culture. Like, all right, cool. Like, you ain't want to be called a cornball or something like that because you don't drink or you never had sex before. You're a virgin or this, that, and that. Like, you ain't want to be called a cornball or this, that, and that. It was embarrassing a little bit. And so at the time, I guess I was a very impressionable person and a follower because that's what I did. I followed people, all right. I did my own thing, but I was embarrassed about being Muslim.
What is that thing that if you accomplished, you feel like you can die happily and proud of yourself tomorrow?
Could you imagine if some kid walks up to me in about 20 years and says, I'm an imam because of you? Or some kid says, I put down drinking and I learned how to pray because of you. That's something that would be like, man, like, yes, Sadaqa Jariyah. Like you like, or even Quran, like imagine a kid that learned Quran because I made Islam fun for him. And he said, I want to do the best that I can. And he learns Quran and he taught 1 million people Quran. I get every blessing for that. Let me die. Let me go. Allah can call me then. Yes, I would love to do that. Yes. Those are the investments that I really want.
What's one thing you wish people knew about you or understood about you that you don't think they do?
The Muslim boxer is not trying to become famous to be famous. The Muslim boxer is trying to become famous because I know how much bad I've done, and I just want Allah to forgive me for all the mistakes that I've made. I don't really care about the followers. I don't care about anything else. I just care to make Islam look good enough and rectify my deeds so that way I can at least get let into Jannah without touching hellfire.
And if you do get into Jannah, well, yeah, let me put it out. Hopefully, who would you like to meet other than the Prophet, peace be upon him? Because that's an easy.
Ooh, I got it. Prophet Noor.
Really? Oh, tell me why.
Someone just asking like, bro, what was it like leaving your family? Then Eunice. I would love to talk to Malcolm X. I would love to talk to him. I would love to sit with Muhammad Ali, like Prophet Adam. I would love to sit with him and really talk to him about being the first person. I would love to know what the earth looked like before. I would love to know what it was like to be Muslim without this my Islam. My Islam is completely different from his in so many ways. And so I just want to know, like, what was your Islam like? I want to talk to him. How did you feel? What were the struggles that you felt like you were going through? What was going through your head when you got here? Like you've never been a child. Prophet Adam, you were born a man. You didn't go through childhood. He didn't go through growth spurts, puberty, nothing. He's just a man, straight out, bam. Like what were you thinking? You have you have male reproductive systems. You didn't go through anything. It didn't like start right there. What was going through your mind?
And he started
and then, of course,
in
I
heaven.
would love.
He started it in heaven.
And then you start in heaven, like, bro, like that is crazy. What was it like when you got dropped down? Did you actually get dropped down? Did you just teleport to get dropped down? Did you have to walk down? Did Angel Jabril like fly you down? Like what? Yeah. What was going on through that time? Like what? You know what I'm saying? Then I want to ask Prophet Muhammad, of course. I want to just ask him, like, when you had those dreams, like, did you teleport? Did you like when you were having those dreams where your body was burning up? What did you see? What was happening?
The details of their stories, the nitty gritty.
I need to know the nitty gritty of how they were feeling. Matter of fact, did they feel like they were about to have a heart attack when they saw Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? I'm probably gonna take about 5,000 years to ask all these questions. I'm gonna just sit with him. I'm good. I'm just gonna sit with him, chill out, and just relax with him. Easy 5,000 years. Ask him all these questions. Sit in the halaqah, hug him for a while. We got time. we got all the time in the world. I don't take your time, sir. Take your time. They say, subhanAllah, they say that when you get into Jannah, they say there's going to be a man looking at a rose for 500 years. Easy. Talk about time. Like, we schedule our time now. There's no time, no death, no nothing. They slaughter death. When after everything is done, they slaughter death. I'm going to sit in his arms and I'm just going to hey, tell me your story, sir. And I might do that with every prophet. Now I want to know the prophets that was here before, the prophets that are not mentioned.
Yeah.
Now I want to meet them. I need to hear the nitty gritty. I don't want to hear nobody else's explanation of what he was thinking. I want to hear what he said.
SubhanAllah, that would be incredible, man.
The older I get, the more I'm so excited to die. Dying that's cool. I do want to see, Lulu, my daughter, grow up and have children and, hopefully. But as far as like dying, like if that's the case, let me go. Let me see what's next. I love this life, but I'm yearning for that afterlife because I truly want to see. One, I just want to know if I'm going to be punished for my sins, because it weighs heavy on my soul. That weighs heavy, and so I want to get to that point where I just pray that Allah is just like, hey, you did enough, brother. You did enough, Muhsin. Yeah, Allah, and I walk across that sirat.
When you're finally home.
When I'm finally home. I want to sit with Abu Bakr and read the entire Quran 17 times over and over and over again, and then really talk about what the difference was and really learning the Quran and what it actually meant, and the stories behind, when he says, like, what really happened when they said, why did that ayah come out? Like, what was the incident that happened that brought that down?
Yeah, and ask Allah
exactly. What you mean?
What you mean?
That's how you gotta be. You got what you mean? What you mean by that? What did you really mean? Because I got interpretations, but what did it really mean? And then I pray to Allah that I'm good enough to sit with Him and truly ask Him, what was the point?
Yes.
Truly, what was the point? What is the point?
Yeah.
What was the point? What made you say, I'm going to create the earth, the universe, the planets, the stars?
And why this reality?
Then
why'd he choose this form of reality? Because he could have chosen so many different other realities.
Why did you choose exactly? Exactly. Why did you choose this dimension? Why did you give me eyes that I can't see the third world, where I can't see jinns and malaika and the seven stars? Like, also, I definitely got to know if we were the only people in the universe. Yeah. Or is this just like the same, like the Men in Black, when they was like, yeah, this is another Milky Way, I'm from another universe, I'm from another galaxy and all that stuff. I got to see these people if they exist. But I just want to know. And this is nothing that I can ask while I'm living.
Yeah.
And nothing that I can ask if I don't be the best Muslim I can be in order to gain Jannah and be able to ask these questions. So that's why I became the Muslim boxer. That's why I am unapologetically Muslim. And that's why, this is who I am.
That's beautiful, man. All for some questions, all for curiosity, asking God, talking to God.